Part 1. The Temptation in the Desert. Can you imagine facing the greatest challenge of your life with nothing but faith? In the desert alone, Jesus did just that. After fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, he was starving, exhausted, but unshaken. It was in this moment of weakness that the tempter appeared. He knew exactly where to strike. If it were you, what would you do? The devil approached with an irresistible offer. If you're truly the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. Picture the temptation. Fresh, warm bread after days without food. But Jesus didn't give in. He responded with authority. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word from God. What kind of strength is this? Not satisfied, the tempter took Jesus to the highest point of the temple in the holy city. Throw yourself down, he taunted. The angels will save you, won't they? It's written. The trap was clear. Test God to prove who he was. But Jesus didn't fall for it. He replied, "Do not put the Lord your God to the test." What does this mean to you? The devil's final move was bold. He took Jesus to a towering mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and said, "All this is yours if you worship me." Power, wealth, glory, all within reach. But Jesus stood firm. Worship only God. With that, the tempter fled. Could you resist an offer like that? This battle wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. Jesus faced what we all face: desires, doubts, temptations. He showed us victory is possible, but how? The answer lies in his unshakable faith. And if I tell you this story is just the beginning, there's so much more to come. Think about it. Jesus was alone, without food, without comfort, yet he never gave up. Each temptation was a test, and he passed them all. Doesn't that make you curious about what he did next? How he changed lives after this? The story is just getting started, and you won't want to miss what's next. The desert wasn't the end, but the start of something massive. Jesus emerged stronger, ready to change the world. Have you ever faced a desert in your life? A moment when everything seemed against you? Jesus overcame his, and this is just a glimpse of what he can do. The temptation in the desert wasn't just an event. It was a lesson. Jesus taught us that true strength comes from within, from trusting God. What if you could apply this to your life? Imagine the impact. Hold on to that curiosity, because the next part will blow you away. If I told you what Jesus did next, changed history forever. He didn't stop in the desert. He went far beyond. Want to know how he began transforming lives? Get ready, because the next part will leave you speechless. So are you ready to continue this journey with Jesus? The story gets even more incredible. Can I move on to the next part? Part 2. The call that changed everything, ready to discover how Jesus began to transform the world. After the desert, he returned to Galilee with a mission. John the Baptist had been arrested, and time was running out. The kingdom of heaven was near, and Jesus knew he had to act. Have you ever felt something big was about to happen? He began preaching with a simple yet powerful message. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is near. Those words rang like thunder. People stopped to listen, intrigued. What did he mean by this? Why the urgency? The answer was in the streets of Galilee. Jesus walked by the Sea of Galilee when he saw two brothers, Simon, whom we call Peter, and Andrew. They were casting nets into the sea, simple fishermen living ordinary lives. But Jesus saw something more in them. He said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And guess what? They dropped everything right then. Imagine this. Leaving your nets, your livelihood, your life, to follow a man you just met. What courage! But there was something about Jesus that convinced them. It was the authority in his voice, the fire in his eyes. Have you ever felt a call that changed everything in your life? Further along, Jesus found two other brothers, James and John, mending nets with their father Zebedee. He called them, and what happened? They left their boat and their father immediately. No hesitation. Docility that make you wonder? What did Jesus have that made people drop everything for him? This wasn't just a choice. It was the start of a revolution. These ordinary men would become the first disciples, the foundation of something that would change the world. But why? What did Jesus see in them? What if he saw the same in you? Have you ever thought about that? Jesus' message wasn't just about words. It was about action, about changing lives. He didn't choose kings or scholars, but fishermen. This shows anyone can be part of this story. Have you ever felt a call to something greater? If you're loving this incredible story of Jesus, comment the word disciples below. When I see your comment, I'll be thrilled, knowing we're connected by this journey. I'll even give your comment a heart. Now that you've commented, let's keep going. Galilee was the stage where Jesus began to build his team. But he didn't stop there. He had a bigger mission, and time was short. What he did next will leave you even more amazed. Want to know what happened? Are you ready to dive into the next part? The story gets even more intense. Can I continue to part 3? Part 3. The light that shines in the darkness. Galilee was about to change forever. Jesus didn't come just to speak, but to bring light where there was darkness. He walked through villages, synagogues, and squares, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom. His message was clear. The time for transformation had come. Have you ever felt something was about to change your life? His words fulfilled an ancient prophecy. People living in darkness have seen a great light. And this light wasn't just a figure of speech. He was bringing hope to the hopeless, healing to the sick, life to the lost. Who wouldn't want to witness this firsthand? Wherever he went, Jesus taught with an authority no one could explain. He wasn't like other teachers. His words pierced the heart, making people question everything. Imagine being there, hearing him speak. What would you feel seeing this light shine? But Jesus didn't stop at words. He acted. People brought the sick, the possessed, the paralyzed, and he healed them. There was no limit to his power. Each miracle was proof that something greater was happening. Can you picture the impact of that? News about Jesus spread like wildfire. From Syria to Judea, crowds followed him. People who had never known hope now pursued him. He wasn't just a preacher. He was living proof that the kingdom of heaven was coming. If you were there, what would you do? Every healing, every word, was an invitation. Jesus was calling everyone to something bigger, to a life with purpose. But time was short. He knew he needed to reach more people, and fast. Have you ever felt that urgency for something that truly matters? If you're loving this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel now. It helps me bring more content like this, and you won't miss any part of this incredible journey. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated. Galilee was ablaze with Jesus' presence. But he didn't stop. He kept healing, teaching, transforming. And what came next? Something that left crowds even more in awe. Want to know what it was? This story is getting more thrilling by the minute. Are you ready for the final part? Can I continue to part 4? Part 4. Miracles that transform the world. We've reached the climax of the journey. Jesus was all over Galilee, and the crowds kept growing. People came from everywhere. Galilee, Decapolis, Jerusalem, even across the Jordan. Why? Because he was doing the impossible. Have you ever seen something that left you speechless? He healed every disease, from fevers to paralytics, who had never walked. Each miracle was a burst of hope. Picture this: a man who never walked stands and runs. People shouted, cried, celebrated. Would you be there cheering or standing in awe? But it wasn't just about healing bodies. Jesus touched hearts. He spoke of a kingdom where everyone had a place, where love and faith conquered all. People felt something different, something that made them want to change. Have you ever felt that desire to transform your life? The synagogues were packed, the streets overflowing. Jesus didn't discriminate. He helped everyone. The possessed, the insane, the suffering all found relief. He asked for nothing in return, only faith. Doesn't that make you want to know more about who he was? Each miracle was proof that the kingdom of heaven was closer than ever, but time was running out. Jesus knew his mission was urgent, and he didn't stop. Have you ever felt that something so important needed to be shared with the world? The crowds followed him because they saw truth in his actions. He wasn't just words. He was hope in action. What if you could be part of this story? What if Jesus' message could still change your life today? Think about it. If you're as moved as I am by this story, give this video a like now. Your support helps me keep bringing these incredible stories to you. A quick like makes all the difference for the channel to grow. Jesus' journey didn't end in Galilee. His message lives on, transforming lives even today. And you, what do you think of all this? If you watched until the end, comment the phrase, "I stayed until the end." When I see your comment, I'll give it a heart. This story isn't just about the past. It's about what can still happen. Jesus started something unstoppable. Now, what will you do with this inspiration? The choice is yours, but the time is now. Don't wait. Thank you for joining this epic journey. Stick with us for more stories that will stir your heart and mind. See you next time.